Hello and welcome to our journey through the Bible. Today we're continuing into the book of Romans chapter 1. In this session, we'll uncover the powerful messages that Apostle Paul shares about faith, truth, and the profound impact of the gospel. Romans 1 is like a door that opens up to the vast treasures of wisdom and guidance stored in the Bible. Stay with us as we walk through these verses together, and I promise you'll not only gain insight into this ancient text, but you'll also discover how its lessons can be applied to your life. Let's begin this exciting adventure into Romans 1 and see what insights await us. Romans 1 verse 18. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and the unrighteousness of men, whom by their unrighteousness suppress the truth. For what can be known about God is plain to them, because God has shown it to them. For his invisible attributes, namely his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world. In the things that have been made, so they are without excuse. For although they knew God, they did not honor him as a God or give thanks to him. But they became futile in their thinking, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Claiming to be wise, they became fools, and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images, resembling mortal man, and birds and animals, and creeping things. So there you have it. That's the first section in Romans. So let us imagine stepping into a scene where the balance of justice and mercy is vividly depicted. In Romans 1, 18 through 23, Paul pulls back the curtain and he reveals to us seriously but crucial aspect of the gospel, the wrath of God. This isn't about fire and brimstone designed to scare us. Rather, it's about understanding the natural consequences of turning away from truth. Paul explains that when people choose to ignore or deny the truth about God, which is plain to see in the world around us today, there's a moral unraveling that follows. It's like pulling at a thread in a finely woven sweater. Once it starts, it's hard to stop the damage. This denial leads us to a darker path where people start worshiping things that shouldn't be worshiped. Money, power, even our own egos over the Creator who designed us all. Now think about what idols we might be holding onto today. This is a main theme of Romans. It's not just about statues or tangible objects. Modern idols can be anything that you prioritize over our relationship with God. It could be our smartphones, our cars, our busy schedules, our personal desires of wealth, our motorcycles. Paul is urging us to look at these idols and recognize them for what they are. Distractions that lead us away from experiencing the fullness of life as God intended it. This passage we just read serves as a wake-up call to acknowledge and reconnect with God's eternal power and divine nature. It's about turning back to the Creator and seeing the world through the lens of the truth and goodness. By doing this, we not only avoid the pitfalls of ungodliness, but also we embrace a life filled with greater purpose and peace. So understanding God's wrath helps us to appreciate the seriousness of living a life aligned with the divine truth. It's not about fearing God, but about respecting the natural order and harmony he has established. This reflection can lead us to a more fulfilling and balanced life, deeply rooted in what truly matters. Now let's go to Romans 1, verses 24 to 32, reading from the ESV. Therefore God gave them up in their lusts of their hearts to impurity, to the dishonoring of their bodies among themselves, because they exchanged the truth about God for a lie, and worshipped and served the creature rather than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. Verse 26, for this reason God gave them up to dishonorable passions. For the women exchanged natural relations for those that are contrary to nature. And the men likewise gave up natural relations with women and were consumed with passion for one another, men committing shameless acts with men and receiving in themselves due penalty for their error. And since they did not see fit to acknowledge God, God gave them up to the debased mind to do what ought not be done. They were filled with all manner of unrighteousness, evil, covetousness, malice. They were full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, maliciousness. They are gossips, slanderers, haters of God, insolent, haughty, boastful, inventors of evil, disobedient to parents, foolish, faithless, heartless, ruthless. Though they know God's righteous decree that those who practice such things deserve to die, they not only do them, but give approval to those who practice them. Now, we face a sobering reality, the consequences of rejecting truth. It's a theme Paul emphasized strongly with the phrase, God gave them up. This isn't just a casual remark, it's a crucial warning about what happens when we turn away from the path God has set for us. Let's unpack this a bit. When Paul says God gave them up, he's talking about a form of divine hands-off policy. It's like a parent who, after repeatedly advising their child against a bad decision, steps back to let them face the natural results of their choice. In Romans, Paul describes this through a series of human actions and divine reactions. This part of Romans shows us a downward spiral, a sequence where rejecting God's truth leads to more and more harmful behaviors. People start exchanging the rock-solid truth of God for shaky lies. Imagine trading a diamond for a cheap plastic imitation. That's the kind of exchange we're talking about here. It looks okay at first, but soon the flaws begin to show. Now think about our lives. Are there places where we might be swapping out truth for convenience? Where are we choosing easier lies over the sometimes hard truths? Perhaps it's in the small justifications we make for our actions, or maybe it's in ignoring those nagging feelings that tell us something isn't right. Paul here is challenging us to look at these decisions seriously. It's not just about avoiding negative outcomes, it's about actively choosing a life that aligns with truth and integrity. When we embrace the truths of God, we're not just following rules, we're walking on a path that leads to a fuller, more meaningful life. So I'm calling out to you let's use this moment to reflect. Let's identify those areas where we might be holding back or turning away. And let's make the choice to step back onto the path of truth. It's never too late to change direction. By aligning our lives with God's truth, we open ourselves up to His guidance, peace, and the joy of living authentically in His light. Right? So today we embarked on a profound journey through Romans 1, where the Apostle Paul confronts us with the raw truths about humanity's relationships with God. We thought about the stark realities of God's wrath, a necessary peace to His mercy, which happens when people turn away from His truths, the themes of exchanging truth for lies, and the consequences of such choices offer us important insights into the degradation of morals and spiritual integrity. We saw how easily people can replace the sacred with the profane, choosing earthly desires over divine wisdom. This has led us to a breakdown in their relationship with God, characterized by a series of divine withdrawals as God allows them to experience the consequences of their choices. Paul's vivid description paints a picture of a world where truth is suppressed and chaos ensues, serving as a mirror to our own times, where personal idols can distract us from our spiritual path. I invite you to reflect deeply on the passages that we've explored. Consider the idols in your own life, those things you might be putting before your relationship with God. Are truths you're trading for comfort or convenience? How are these choices shaping your life? Let's take these insights from Romans 1 as a call to action. It's an invitation for you to reevaluate priorities, to strip away the superficial, and to anchor ourselves in the enduring truths of the gospel. By reconnecting with God's eternal power and divine nature, we open the door to a life of greater purpose and peace. Right? Remember, it's never too late to turn back, to choose a path of truth and integrity. Let this study of Romans be a starting point for a renewed journey towards a life aligned with divine truth, a life that truly honors God. And I'd like to say thank you for joining me today. May this exploration inspire you to live a life of deeper faith, understanding, and a commitment. Let's carry these lessons into our daily lives and let them guide us toward a more meaningful existence. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this little talk we've had. Please like and subscribe if you're interested. God bless. We love you.